So listen, man, the fighting nerds are starting to feel like their own little universe at this point. You got Jean Silva, Mauricio Ruffy, Carlos Prates, and Caio Borralho, the four horsemen of the Nerd Dojo. These dudes are basically the Mount Rushmore of the whole camp, and everybody's buzzing about them. They're flashy, they're dangerous, and they're all carrying the hype that makes people say, yeah, one of these guys is going to run the division one day. Now, here's what I want to do. I'm ranking them, all right? Straight up. Who's got the best ceiling? Who's just going to hover around the top five? Who might end up one of those guys that's good but not that guy? And I'm not sugarcoating it either. If I put you at a number 4, relax. That doesn't mean you're a bum. You're still top 8 material at least. Still a nightmare matchup for half the roster. But let's be real, not everyone's championship cloth. Some of y'all are going to be contenders and some of y'all are going to be belt holders. And look, man, the point is all 4 of them are good. Like scary good. But I'm going to break it down who I think has just contender energy and who's got future champion written all over them. So yeah, no beating around the bush, no fake hype. Let's get into it, okay? Alright, so let's get into the number 4 spot. I'm putting Mauricio Ruffy here, okay? And before anybody gets mad, chill. I'm not saying he's a bum. I actually think he's going to beat the brakes off BSD this Saturday. Like, I really think he's going to shock people with how good his wrestling defense is. And he's going to slide into that top 10 pretty soon, to be honest. I mean, he's already like in the top 15. The dude's legit, no doubt about it. Ruffy's just so damn technical, man. He doesn't waste shots. He picks them carefully. And when he lands, bro, he lands clean. He's accurate as hell, and that's what makes him so dangerous. And what I personally love about him is that he's creative. He doesn't fight like your basic striker, you know, throwing 1-2s on repeat. Nah, he'll mix in some wild shit. Like his last fight, he threw a spinning kick and flatlined Bobby Green. Now look, knocking out Bobby Green isn't exactly the hardest accomplishment these days. Hell, at this point, even I got a shot knocking Green out. If you give me like 4-ounce gloves, let's be real. But still, the way he did it, clean, flashy, crowd pleasing. That's the type of stuff that makes people tune in. Now, with all that being said, with all that glazing done, I just don't see this guy running the division. Lightweight is brutal, man. It's one of the hardest weight classes in the UFC. Maybe the hardest? You've got killers like Topuria, Armin Saryukian, Gamrot, Charles Oliveira, even a wild card like Paddy Pimblett, who's not just going to roll over. And as good as Ruffy is, I feel like when he gets to that top 5 range, that's where the problem starts. Like, yeah, he'll blow through guys hanging around outside the top 10. I think he beats a Moicano. I think he beats a Beneil Dariush. Hell, he probably even beats up Dan Hooker and makes him go to sleep. And honestly, he might even catch Gagey if Justin's just too reckless. But when we start talking about the Armins, the Topurias, the Olives, that's a different mountain. Those dudes are well-rounded savages, and they're not going to give him the type of fight where he gets to sit there, you know, dictate the pace, pick all his shots all night. That's another thing with Ruffy. He looks like he's at his best when he's the one in control. When he's walking forward, when he's setting the tempo, he's nasty. But when somebody flips down on him, when he's on the back foot dealing with the pressure, that's when the sloppiness creeps in. He's hittable, he starts to get wild, and that's when elite guys will expose him. Now, don't get it twisted. He's still a problem. He's going to be a top 7 guy for sure. He's going to rack up highlight knockouts. He's going to be in big fights. And he's going to have a fan base. I just don't see him being that guy, though. The one that's holding the 155 belt. You know, the lightweight strap. Lightweight's just damn too stacked for that. But hey, this is MMA. Anything can happen. Am I right? Maybe he proves me wrong. I guess we'll find out soon. Now, number 3 on the list, we have Caio Borralho. And I already know what you're thinking. Bro, how could you get Kaho at 3? Now, hear me out, man. I actually think Kaho could be a champion under the right timing. If the belt was still on Dricus, you know, let's say Dricus was still champ, I could see Kaho beating him. But with Hamza sitting on top right now, no way in hell is Kaho stopping that monster. Let's just be real. I don't care how good his BJJ guard is or how slick his fight IQ is. Hamza's a whole different problem. With that said, Kaho's a damn good fighter. He's big for the division. He's well-rounded everywhere. He's got the striking. He's got the wrestling. And he's got submissions. The guy is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. That's why I think Kaho is going to be a top 5 guy for a long time. You're not just going to push him out of the picture easily. Now, here's the catch. His output isn't too crazy. He's not like one of these volume machines like a Sean Strickland or something. He fights at his own pace. Sometimes that's good because it keeps him calm and collected, but sometimes it backfires because he's letting the other guy steal rounds. And you know what? That's why so many of his fights end up in decision. Like, don't get me wrong, he can finish. He's got that nasty sub game, and he clipped guys before. But more often than not, it's him controlling, grinding, and just making sure he wins rather than hunting for that kill shot. But here's why I got him at 3 and not higher. I don't see him holding the belt with Hamza in that division. That's just being real. He's too safe sometimes, not enough finishing threat. And I think when you get at that very top level, you need to be able to take guys out. Jean Silva and Carlos Prates. Now they got that finishing spark. Those dudes can end your night at a second. Kaho, he's more methodical. He'll win fights. He'll climb the rankings. But the belt, I just don't see it unless the stars align perfectly. Still though, he's one of those fighters who always is going to be in the mix. Always going to be respected. And always going to be a tough out for anybody in the division. Now for the number 2 spot, we got Carlos Prates. And look, I've been really critical of this dude before. I didn't think he was going to get past Ian Gary, and I was right. Ian outpaced him, mixing the grappling, did enough to edge the fight. But here's the thing. Carlos still had his moments. He stuffed a lot of those shots. He hung in there, and bro, he nearly ended it in the 5th round. If he landed clean there, that was a wrap. We're not even having that conversation the same way. And then boom, he just came off, with that big win after he knocked out Jeff Neal cold with that spinning elbow. That's not just a bounce back win. That's a statement. Now, he's booked against Leon Edwards, and call me crazy, but I think he knocks Leon out. I don't even mean that as disrespect to Leon. Leon's great, but the way that Carlo throws, it's violent, it's unpredictable, and it only takes one. This guy's finishing power is unreal. 17 finishes in 22 wins. And it's not just his hands. He's got that long southpaw jab. He'll tear you up with body knees and the elbows. Forget about it. He's one of those few welterweights where every limb is a weapon. He's long, explosive, and when he decides to unload, it looks like he's trying to break bones and not score points, okay? But here's where the weakness comes in. He's not a volume guy. He's not going to pump 100 strikes and overwhelm you like Max Holloway. He picks his shots. That's good for accuracy, but it also means if you can match his pace, like Ian did, you can outwork him on the cards. And cardio, that's always going to be the question. Like, let's be real. The man's out here smoking cigarettes, living it like it's Pride era 2004. It's funny, it's badass, but at the top level, that lifestyle can catch up to you. And then there's the grappling. Yeah, his takedown defense did look solid, but against a true grinder, against a Sean Brady, against a Bilal Muhammad, that's where I start getting nervous. If he can't get you off of him, his whole striking game gets smothered. That's why I don't like him as a lock for the champion. But do I think it's possible? Hell yeah. Look, if Jack de la Madalena somehow beats Islam, you're telling me Carlos Prates can't knock out JDM. We could legit live in a world where Carlos Prates is the welterweight champ. It sounds crazy right now, but you can't deny the tools. The knockout power, the explosiveness, the ability to shut lights off with knees and elbows and punches. That's the kind of stuff that wins belt. And look, man, I'm not betting the house on him, but I'm saying don't count it out because Carlos Prates is one of those dudes where even if you think you've got him figured out, he'll pull something out of nowhere and just change the whole fight. That's why I got him in the number 2 spot. Now for the number 1 spot, you guys already know who it is. I've been hyping this dude up for a while now, even dropping a video just on him not that long ago, and he's fighting next week against Diego Lopez. Man, I hope he wins. Like, I really hope he pulls it off, because if he does, the whole featherweight division is about to get a reality check, because Jean Silva, bro, this is a dude that's gonna be a straight up problem in my opinion. The first thing that jumps out is his power. He's got that brick in both hands, and at 145, when Jean lands clean, dudes don't just take it and move on. They literally freeze up, okay? But the thing that makes him scary isn't just his knockout power, it's how he delivers it. Gene's not out there swinging wild like a madman. He's patient, he plans, he reads your movements, and then boom, that counter's coming flying. And the striking weapons, man, the guy's toolbox is just stacked, man. He's got that sharp jab that sets the tone, and when he sticks it, it feels heavy. Then he'll slip and fire back with that left hook that puts people on skates. The counters are his bread and butter. He'll bait you into those. He'll bait you into throwing and then punishes you with a hook, overhand, and sometimes even a short uppercut that comes out of nowhere. He mixes in elbows like it's second nature, spinning elbows, standing elbows in the pocket. It doesn't matter. You saw it in that Judober fight. Bro threw everything. Hooks, elbows, combos, and it looked nasty. And let's not forget about his body work. He'll rip to the body just to set up the upstairs finish. He's explosive but not sloppy. Every strike feels like it's meant to end the fight, and that's why people freeze when he's coming at them. It's not just the speed, it's the violent intent behind every shot. Now, as for his defense, his takedown defense deserves more love. Remember Bryce Mitchell? He was trying to drag him down. Gene looked like Superman, stuffing shot after shot, reversing position, and basically told Bryce, nah, not today. He's not easy to bully physically, I would say. He has a strong frame, balance, and the confidence to stand tall, even when the wrestler shoots on him. That's a big deal in this division because 145 has a couple good grapplers, I'm not gonna lie. But I gotta keep it real. He's not perfect. He plants his feet a lot because he wants that counter shot, and against an elite striker, that can get you time. A guy with really good feints, volume, and movements might be able to touch him up if he doesn't adjust. And we haven't seen him in a 5-round war yet. What happens when somebody drags him into deep waters? What happens if his power doesn't get the job done early? Those are questions we just don't know yet. That's why this Diego Lopez fight is huge. Diego's a dog, he's slick, he's durable, and he brings chaos. If Gene handles Diego, man, then we really gotta talk about him as a title threat. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts Diego away. That's how confident I am in his weapons. And if we're talking future, bro, if Volk still has the featherweight belt, I honestly think Gene could be the guy that retires him. I know that's a bold claim, but with his calmness, his counters, and that aura he brings, it feels like we're watching a future champ. He's got that vibe where every time he walks out, you feel like somebody's about to get folded. So yeah, weaknesses might show up down the road. Cardio, high volume strikers, guys with airtight wrestling, but right now, Jean Silva looks like the real deal. He's got the weapon, he's got the aura, and he's got the kill shot power that can carry him straight to the belt. That's why he's my number one. I think he's going to get the belt. Hopefully at his age, he keeps sharpening it up, keeps adding layers because the potential is there in my opinion. But that's the fun part, right? We don't really know until it happens. We'll find out in the following weeks, and honestly, imagine if all 4 of these guys end up getting fraud check. That would flip the whole conversation on its head. But for now, these are the ones I'm betting on, the future, the ones who got the juice, and the ones who might actually be running their division.